All right, hello and welcome to today's session on how to set up a virtual machine. So the virtual machine is really just to set up a mini operating system inside of your own computer. So in our case, we're going to set up Linux CentOS inside your computer. There are a few benefits of this. The first is that this setup is completely sandboxed, meaning that whatever you do inside the virtual machine stays inside the virtual machine. So you don't risk messing up your operating system or deleting any files accidentally that you don't want to delete. The second thing that this helps out with is that it helps you test your code because you have a better idea and you're developing on a system that is very similar to the one that we grade on. And the last part is that it helps us help you. It really streamlines all the issues with setting up an IDE, because setting up an IDE is honestly easier said than done. It seems really easy, but then when you get to it, there's all the nitty-gritty across operating systems, and it's really hard for us to help you because we simply don't have the expertise in every single IDE and every single operating system. So the idea for this is to give us a starting baseline that's the same for everybody and that we know how to set up for everybody. All right, so the first document we're going to ask you to pull up is the ESC 190 handbook. I'm going to pull it up right here. And you're going to go straight down to section 9, although I recommend that you read through all of the sections. They're very helpful. So section 9, we're going to start off with installing VirtualBox. Now, VirtualBox is the skeleton for setting up a virtual machine. So I've gone ahead and downloaded it already, but I'll show you where to do that. It's in that link. You click on your operating system. In my case, I clicked on Windows. If you run Mac, you'll do the OS X. And then it downloads the installer file. So here I'm going to install the VirtualBox platform. And all of these things I just leave as is. Yep, these are fine. And it says, warning, okay, we'll go ahead with that. Okay, so now that this is done installing, it was really quick, you can see actually that this ESC 190 OVA that I downloaded off Quarkus is now recognized as a file type. So we click Finish. And it launched our VirtualBox here. Now, so I got the OVA from the supplementary material section of the Quarkus webpage. You can just download that. The next thing we're going to do is to set up CentOS. So we've already downloaded and actually set that up for you. So we go here. We're going to follow the steps here that says File, Import Appliance, File, Import Appliance, Source, Local File System, because it is something that we have locally on our drive. And then I'm just going to go and navigate to the OVA that I downloaded from Quarkus. We're going to click Next. And I'm going to leave all of these options as is for now. You can see that the RAM here is only 1024 megabytes. That's not good. And you can actually change this right here, but I'm going to leave it as is in case you've already installed it and you want to know how to change the RAM later. So we're going to leave that and click Import. So the first thing I'm going to do, and just in case that you've already run the virtual machine and it's installed, you're going to want to power off the virtual machine first. Make sure it's in the powered off stage. I'm going to click Settings and go to System. I'm going to change the memory to at least 2 gigabytes, so 2048 megabytes. Now, to know how much memory you can allocate to this thing, you can go into your PC, right-click, Properties, and here I see that I have 8 gigs of RAM. So I'm actually going to go in and give this virtual machine more than just 2 gigs. I'm going to go all the way up to 4 gigs. Okay, done. And now I'm going to start up the machine. I'm going to use my keyboard and press enter. Can mute these notifications. These don't matter. And it's booted up. I'm going to go ahead and press enter on my keyboard, put in the password ESC190, sign in. It's thinking. All right, now I'm in. All right, so usually the first thing that I do with a virtual machine is I go into full screen. I'm finding that I actually can't record my screen if I full screen the virtual machine. So what this usually starts off as is with the wired connection off, meaning there's no internet connection. So the first thing I need to do is go in and look for this wired off setting, click it, click connect, and now I'm connected to the internet. You can see that I'm wired connected. The second thing that I always do is I open up my settings and I change the display resolution. Okay, so that's my display resolution. Now I want to pull up the terminal and see what software I have available. Let's see my Git version. So I've got Git installed. Let's see Python version. And it says Python command not found. And what that means is Python 2 is not found. We can check Python 3 version as 3.6.8. And then for example, GCC, clang, and we've got everything. So another thing I can do is man git. And you can see Git is actually the stupid content tracker. We've got it all there. Great. Okay. So typically what I'll do after I'm done using my virtual machine, while I won't actually use this shutdown button in the virtual machine, I tend to go in and not power it off because starting it up takes so much time. And I've also found that it gets rid of all my display settings, and that's super annoying. So what I do is I go ahead and click the X on top of the VirtualBox interface. And then I choose the option not power off or shut down. I actually save the machine state. So to show you what that does, it says here that it's saved. And if we start it up again, so now it's in the state that we left it in. The last thing that I want to mention is that sometimes you might get internet issues with the virtual machine. So take a look at section 9.4 if that happens. And also you can feel free to post on Discourse. We'll be happy to help. That wraps it up, and have fun.